Look at her. Look at how her husband treats her like a queen. That woman is blessed, Enetchi muttered to herself. But sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. You might think it's just a saying, but after today, you will know it is a bold warning written in blood. This is African Folktales by Mazi K. Here, every story has a lesson. Kindly like and subscribe if you want similar stories like this one. Let me tell you about the town of Envied and two women, one who had what looked like everything, and one who wanted it so badly she was willing to destroy her own life to get it. In Envied, there lived a woman called Amara. Beautiful, elegant, the kind of woman who could tie a simple wrapper and make it look like she was going to a wedding. But what made the other women in the community whisper and hiss was her husband, Chief Chinedu. Oh, my people, Chief Chinedu was the picture of a perfect husband, in public. If you saw them at the market, he would be carrying her basket. If you saw them at church, his hand would be on her back protectively, guiding her like she was made of glass. If you saw them at a wedding, he would be introducing her to everyone as my jewel, my treasure, the queen of my house. The women would watch with green eyes and bitter tongues. See her luck, they would say. Her husband treats her like she is gold. Meanwhile, my own husband cannot even remember my birthday or our wedding anniversary. That Amara, she must have used something. No man is naturally that devoted. If only we could all be so blessed. But my people, if only they knew. If only they knew that the moment Amara and Chief Chinedu's gate closed behind them, the gold turned to rust. The jewel became a punching bag. The queen became a prisoner. You see, Chief Chinedu was two people. Outside the gate, he was a community leader, a successful businessman, a man who smiled and waved and donated to every church function. Inside the gate, he was a monster. The same hands that carried Amara's basket in the market would grab her by the throat in the bedroom because she served his food 2 minutes late. The same voice that called her my treasure in public would hiss at her in private. You are nothing. You are dirt. I made you. Without me, you would be selling oranges by the roadside. And Amara, she endured. Why? Because she had nowhere to go. Her parents were dead. Her only brother lived far away and had his own struggles. Chief Chinedu had slowly cut her off from all her friends over the years, always with a smile, always with an excuse. My love, those women are jealous of you. They don't want to see you happy. So Amara smiled in public and bled in private. She wore long sleeves to cover the bruises. She wore makeup to hide the swelling. She laughed loudly at parties so no one would hear the screaming that happened at home. And the community continued to call her blessed. Now, let me introduce you to the second woman in this story. Her name was Enetchi. Enetchi was not ugly, but she was not Amara either. She was the kind of woman people forgot about 5 minutes after meeting her. Average height, average face, average everything. And Enetchi hated it. She hated being average. She hated being overlooked. She hated watching other women get attention while she faded into the background. But most of all, she hated Amara. She hated how Amara glowed, how Amara walked with her head high, how Chief Chinedu looked at Amara like she was the only woman in the room. Enetchi wanted that. She wanted a man who would carry her basket, a man who would introduce her as his queen, a man who would make other women jealous. And she decided that if she couldn't find that man, she would take Amara's. Enetchi was not stupid. She was calculating. She didn't just wake up one day and throw herself at Chief Chinedu. No, she studied him. She watched him. She learned his patterns. She noticed that every Thursday evening, Chief Chinedu stopped at Mom Ngozi's palm wine joint on his way home from work. So Enetchi started going there too. Not obviously. She would sit in the corner, order a small bottle of Maltina, pretend to be waiting for someone, and she would watch. She noticed that Chief Chinedu liked to be seen. He liked when people greeted him with respect. He liked when the palm wine seller called him chief and gave him the best seat. So one evening, Enetchi made her move. She walked past his table and, accidentally, dropped her purse. Coins scattered everywhere. Oh, I'm so sorry, she gasped, bending down to gather them. Chief Chinedu, even the gentleman in public, immediately stood up to help. Don't worry, my sister, let me help you. He bent down, their hands touched as they both reached for a coin. Enetchi looked up at him through her lashes. Thank you, sir, you are very kind. It's nothing, he said, smiling.
A beautiful woman should not be struggling alone. Beautiful. He called her beautiful. That word lit a fire in Enetchi's chest. She smiled shyly and walked away. But the seed was planted. After that evening, Enetchi became bolder. She started greeting him whenever she saw him. Always respectful, always demure, always with that shy smile. "Good evening, Chief. I hope you are well." "Chief, the sun is hot today. You are working so hard." "Chief, you look like a man who carries the weight of the world. You deserve rest." She was feeding his ego, stroking it, making him feel like the king he wanted to be.
And slowly, Chief Chinedu started to notice her. One evening, he called her over to his table. "Come, sit with me. What is your name?" "Enetchi, sir." "Enetchi. Beautiful name for a beautiful woman. What are you drinking? Let me buy it for you." She pretended to be shy. "Oh no, Chief, I cannot accept it. What will people say?" He laughed. "People will say a gentleman is taking care of a lady. Sit down." And she sat. That evening, they talked for an hour. Enetchi made sure to laugh at all his jokes, to nod when he talked about his business, to look impressed when he talked about his connections. She didn't mention Amara, not once, but she made sure to mention that she was single, that she was tired of boys who didn't know how to treat a woman, that she wished she could find a real man. The trap was set. Within 2 months, Enetchi and Chief Chinedu were meeting regularly. Not at Mamangozi's anymore. That was too public. He rented a small room for her in a quiet part of town. He called it Our Place. Enetchi didn't care that she was a side piece. She told herself this was just the beginning. Soon he would leave Amara. Soon she would be the main wife. Soon she would be the one people called blessed. Chief Chinedu fed her those dreams. "My wife doesn't understand me," he would say, lying in Enetchi's bed after their meetings. "She is cold. She doesn't appreciate what I do for her. Not like you. You see me. You understand me." Enetchi would stroke his chest and say, "A man like you deserves better. You deserve a woman who truly loves you." "I know," he would sigh, "but leaving is complicated. The community, my reputation, you understand." And Enetchi, blinded by her greed, would nod and say, "I understand. I can wait." Meanwhile, Amara knew. She wasn't stupid. She could smell the cheap perfume on her husband's clothes. She noticed how he started coming home later, how he started smiling at his phone. But Amara didn't confront him. Why? Because she had learned long ago that confronting Chief Chinedu only led to more pain, more screaming, more bruises. So she watched, and she waited, and she planned. One day, while cleaning the bedroom, she found a receipt in his pocket for a hotel room, for jewelry, for expensive dinners. She looked at that receipt for a long time. Then she folded it carefully and put it in a small box under her mattress, the same box where she had been hiding small amounts of money for years, the same box that held her escape plan. You see, my people, Amara had been planning to leave for 3 years, slowly, quietly. Every week she would take a little money from the housekeeping budget, not much, just enough that Chief Chinedu wouldn't notice. She had been saving, preparing, waiting for the right moment. And now, with this receipt in her hand, she realized the right moment was coming. The community started talking. "Have you seen how Chief Chinedu has been looking at that Enetchi girl? I heard they are always together at Mamangozi's place. That girl is shameless. Doesn't she know he has a wife?" But they didn't tell Amara. They gossiped behind her back and pitied her to her face. One woman, Mama Ego, couldn't hold it anymore. She pulled Amara aside at the market. "My daughter, I don't know how to tell you this, but your husband, he has been seen with another woman." Amara looked at Mama Ego with tired eyes. "I know, Ma." "You know, and you are not doing anything?" Amara smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "What should I do, Ma? Fight her? Fight him? Some battles are not worth fighting." Mama Ego shook her head. "You are too patient. If it were me, I would scatter that small girl." But Amara said nothing more. She thanked Mama Ego and went home. That evening, she added more money to her box. Enetchi was getting impatient. 6 months had passed, and Chief Chinedu was still with Amara, still going home to her, still introducing her as my wife at events. "When are you going to tell her about us?" she demanded one evening. Chief Chinedu sighed. "Soon, my love, soon. I just need to handle things carefully." "You keep saying soon. I'm tired of hiding. I want to be the one on your arm. I want to be the one people call your wife." He pulled her close. "I know, baby, I know. Just give me time. Time, always time.
But Enetchi's greed wouldn't let her be patient. She started making mistakes. She started showing up at places where she knew Amara would be. The market, the church, always dressed better than Amara, always smiling that triumphant smile. She wanted Amara to see her, to know, to feel the pain. And Amara did see, but instead of pain, she felt something else. Relief. One Sunday after church, Chief Chinedu made an announcement that shocked everyone. He stood up in front of the congregation and said, "My wife and I have decided to separate. We have grown apart. She has decided to return to her people. I ask for your prayers during this difficult time." The church erupted in whispers. Amara sat there with her head bowed, playing the role of the heartbroken wife perfectly. But inside, she was smiling, because this was the moment she had been waiting for, the moment Chief Chinedu thought he was discarding her, not knowing she had been preparing to discard him.
After the service, Chief Chinedu didn't go home with Amara. He went straight to Enetchi's place. "It's done," he told her. "I've announced our separation. Soon you will be my wife." Enetchi screamed with joy. She threw her arms around him. Finally she had won. Amara moved out quietly. No drama, no scene, just packed her things and left. The community pitied her. Poor woman, after all these years of service, that Enetchi has destroyed her home. But Amara didn't care what they thought. She took her box of savings, got on a bus, and went to Lagos. She had a cousin there who helped her find a small job and a small room. It wasn't much, but it was hers. And for the first time in 10 years, she could breathe. She could sleep without fear. She could eat without anxiety. She could exist without walking on eggshells. She was free. Back in Enevie, Enetchi moved into Chief Chinedu's house. She walked through that gate like a conquering queen. She touched the furniture. She opened the wardrobes. She stood in the bedroom and smiled. This was hers now, all of it. The first week was beautiful. Chief Chinedu took her to restaurants, bought her new clothes, introduced her to his friends as my new wife. Enetchi felt like she had won the lottery. But then came the second week. Chief Chinedu came home and the food wasn't ready. "Where is my food?" he asked. "I'm still cooking," Enetchi said cheerfully. "It will be ready soon." He looked at his watch. "I've been working all day. I'm hungry now." "It's almost done, my love. Just give me 10 more minutes." His face changed. That warm smile disappeared. His eyes went cold. 10 minutes? You've been home all day and you can't have my food ready when I arrive? Enetchi laughed nervously. "It's just 10 minutes. Relax." Slap. The sound echoed through the house. Enetchi fell to the floor, her hand on her burning cheek, shock written all over her face. What did you just do?" Chief Chinedu stood over her, his face twisted in anger. "You think you can talk to me anyhow? You think because I left Amara for you, you can disrespect me?" "I wasn't disrespecting you. I was just—" Another slap. "Shut up." Amara never talked back. Amara knew her place. But you think you are special? Enetchi tried to crawl away, but he grabbed her arm. "Let me make something very clear," he hissed. "You are not special. You are replaceable. Amara was a saint compared to you. At least she was quiet. But you are loud, disrespectful. I will break you." And he did. The beating started that night and never stopped. Everything Amara had endured for 10 years, Enetchi now endured too. But it was worse from Enetchi, because unlike Amara, who had been raised with patience and endurance, Enetchi fought back. She shouted, she argued, she threatened to leave. And every time she did, Chief Chinedu beat her harder. "Leave? Where will you go? Everyone knows you are a husband snatcher. Everyone knows you destroyed another woman's home. Who will take you now?" He was right. The community that once gossiped about Amara now gossiped about Enetchi. See what she got for snatching another woman's husband. God is not asleep. She thought she was getting a prize. Now look at her. Within 3 months, Enetchi looked like a ghost. Thin, tired, bruised. She tried to reach out to her family, but they turned their backs on her. "You made your bed, now sleep in it." She tried to reach out to friends, but they all said the same thing. "We warned you, but you didn't listen." She was trapped, just like Amara had been. But unlike Amara, Enetchi had no savings, no plan, no escape route. She had been so focused on taking what Amara had, she never stopped to ask why Amara might be willing to let it go. 1 year later, Amara was thriving in Lagos.
She had gotten a better job, she had made new friends, she had even started smiling again. Real smiles, not the fake ones she used to wear. One evening, a mutual friend from Enetchi called her. "Amara, have you heard about Enetchi?" "No, what about her?" "She is suffering. Chief Chinedu beats her every day. She looks terrible. She tried to run away twice, but he always finds her and brings her back." Amara was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I'm sorry to hear that." "Are you, after what she did to you?" Amara sighed. "I'm not happy she is suffering. I understand now that she didn't take anything from me. She freed me. I was too afraid to leave on my own. But when he chose her, it gave me the permission I needed to go." Her friend was silent. "I don't hate her," Amara continued. "I pity her, because she fought so hard for something I was running from. She wanted my life without knowing what my life actually was."
2 years later, Enetchi finally escaped. Not because Chief Chinedu let her go, but because one night he beat her so badly she ended up in the hospital. And when she woke up, a nurse who had also been a victim of domestic violence helped her contact a women's shelter. Enetchi left with nothing but the clothes on her back. She was broken, traumatized, filled with regret. She never tried to contact Amara. She was too ashamed. But years later, when she finally healed enough to speak about her experience, she would tell other women, "I destroyed my own life chasing another woman's nightmare. I thought I was taking her husband. I didn't know I was volunteering for her prison sentence." My people, let me drop the talking drum here. The moral of this story is simple. Before you kill yourself trying to take what another woman has, ask yourself, why is she letting it go so easily? Before you spray perfume and tie your best wrapper to chase another woman's husband, ask yourself, what is she running from? Not every marriage that looks good in public is good in private. Not every man who smiles in the market is kind at home. Not every woman you envy is actually blessed. Some women are not losing their husbands, they are escaping their prisons. And some side chicks are not winning, they are just the next victim in line. Amara didn't lose a husband, she escaped a monster. Enetchi didn't win a man, she won a lifetime of regret. So before you look at another woman's life and say, "God, when?" remember this story. Remember that the grass is not always greener. Sometimes it's just painted green to hide the graves underneath. If this story shook you, share it. If it opened your eyes, talk about it. And if you know someone dancing toward a golden cage, send them this message before the door locks shut. Until next time, may your eyes see clearly. May your blessings come without bondage. And may you never fight to collect another woman's cross, thinking it's a crown. The next story is already waiting for you on your screen. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. See you in the next one.